Hey, what's up? It's Zach, Team Mr. Mortgage. I've never done a video like this before, as I am sure you're going to be able to tell by the time we're done. But I was talking with a friend of mine. She's in the very early planning stages of buying a new home, and she asked me a question that I've heard many times before. And I know there's a lot of home buyers, especially first-time buyers out there, that have this same question. So I thought maybe I could share her question and my answers. Maybe help you or a family member or a friend, maybe you have a neighbor looking to buy, just get into the best possible position to buy a new home. And here's what she asked me. Where do I start? Zach, I've never done this before. Do I start by looking at houses? Do I start by paying off debt? What do I do? Now, this is a good question because there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to look at when we build out your custom home buying plan. But step one, and arguably the factor that has the single biggest impact on your purchase, we're talking about from your interest rate to your mortgage payment all the way down to the loan program that you qualify for, is going to be your credit. Now, in this day and age, we should know what our credit scores are. There's a ton of tools out there to monitor and to manage your credit. But what most people don't know is how to maximize their credit score. There's a couple of different data points that are going to influence your credit score. Things like the length of credit history, types of credit that you have. But there's two factors that account for 65% of your total credit score. We're going to talk about payment history and credit utilization. So it should not come as a surprise to you in this day and age that we have to make our payments on time. It has a massive impact on your credit score. It accounts for 35% of your total score. And if you do happen to miss a payment, it's hugely important that you jump right back in front of it, because if you miss one payment, you have a one-off late, creditors will work with you. You can get creditors to remove that. But if you have multiple or running lates, it's going to get a lot more difficult, even exponentially more difficult to get those removed without what we call extenuating circumstances. And we'd have to be able to prove those circumstances, and they have to be very convincing. And late payments don't just impact your credit score. So when an underwriter looks at it, it raises a red flag, because if you have a history of late credit payments, you're more likely to default on a mortgage payment and then, of course, default on the mortgage loan. There are companies out there that offer services to remove late payments. Before you sign up with anybody who offers that, talk with a mortgage professional, shoot me a message. You just want to make sure that you're working with somebody reputable and that they're going to be able to deliver on what they promise. Again, getting lates removed is not easy, and so don't let someone try to convince you that it is. Now, when we talk about credit utilization, we're talking about the overall amount of credit that you have used versus the total overall credit limits that you have. So if you have a $10,000 credit limit and you're using $5,000 of it, you have a 50% credit utilization. The magic number that you hear tossed around is 30%, meaning that you don't want to go above 30% or it's going to start hurting your credit score. I always give my clients a target of 20 to 25%, and the reason is this: life happens. We have credit cards for emergencies. You want to be able to use that card and not have to worry about going over that 30% threshold and hurting your credit score. And it's not to say that you have to be at 30%, so please don't get me confused. If you try to get your payments or your balances, as low as you possibly can. If you have a 50% credit utilization, you're going to have a better credit score than if you have a 70% credit utilization, and so on and so on. Now, if you need to buy a home quickly and you need to improve your score quickly, you're really in a rush, mortgage professionals do have access to tools that can do what's called a rapid rescore if you pay your debt, a certain amount of debt down. But before you do anything, before you pay any debt down, again, talk to your mortgage professional, shoot me a message. You want to make sure you're paying the right debts down. Those are the two main factors. Now, there's other things we're going to look at. We're going to look at derogatory credit history. We're going to look at, collections and charge-offs. We're going to need to be able to explain those and make sure we include those payments. If you have bankruptcies, foreclosures, or short sales, you need to know specific dates for those. For your bankruptcies, we need the discharge date. For your foreclosures or short sales, we're going to need the recording date, meaning when did that transaction close and record. That's it in a nutshell. We can go a lot deeper, but that's the step one. Now, tune in next week. We're going to go ahead and talk about step two, and it's everybody's favorite topic. We're going to talk about money. Do me a favor, like, share, go ahead and drop a comment. If you have a question, either shoot me a message or drop it in the comments below. And before I get out of here, I have a quick shout out, three quick shout outs actually. First off, Billy, thank you for asking the questions. I hope my answers are helpful to you, and I look forward to helping you become a homeowner here down the line. My next shout out's to my buddy Ketan. Ketan has been politely encouraging me to get some video out there, to get out from behind the camera and not be so shy about it. I look forward to your honest and pointed feedback, my friend. And then last, actually, I wanted to thank a guy I've never really met in person, but we met on Facebook through Ketan. He's actually partnered with Ketan on a few different business ventures. Zabi, I loved your message last week when I commented on it. I needed to hear it, as you can see. The proof's in the pudding. I really appreciate it, man. Keep up the great work, and to all three of you three, thank you so much. Again, tune in next week. We're going to talk about my favorite conversation, money. Have a great weekend.